Good Saturday morning, everyone. Want to start off by trying to take a look outside. Hey, it's 6 a.m., right? Sun's not up. What is there to look outside anyway? Hey, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Manusha here along with Keely. Keely, we are heading into a stretch of days where you have to be really careful, right? About how long you're outside, how long your kids and your animals and everything.
Yeah, we've been through this before this season, but yeah, we're in store for a couple days of very, very cold weather. It's going to be chilly out there today. Not quite the single-digit highs that we're going to see in the next couple of days. We're at 14 out there at DIA right now. We have got clouds in the picture. We'll see increasing clouds as we head into the afternoon. Still seeing some light snow up in the high country. Anybody driving through the I-70 corridor up in the high country, the mountains today, expect very slick conditions and winter driving conditions. So we're going to see increasing clouds as we head through the day. We're going to top out right around 29, 30 degrees for a high. We do have some light snow moving in the picture. We're looking at likely less than a half an inch here in the metro area as we head into the overnight hours. So again, expect some spotty light snow showers out there this afternoon, overnight as well. We're going to make it up to about, I said upper 20s, 28 out at DIA. Here in the metro area, we'll likely make it up to 30, 4 degrees overnight. And then tomorrow, our high is looking like it's going to be in the single digits. So it is going to be cold. Again, we have a 40% chance of some snow tomorrow, and that continues into Monday. But again, the big story for Sunday and Monday will be the very, very cold temperatures. We'll talk more about that and what we can expect for next weekend coming up in your full forecast in just a bit.
Well, today, people in Memphis are planning on rallying again like they did yesterday, shocked and disgusted by what they saw in video of police officers beating Tyre Nichols. Those demonstrations happened across the country. A group of people gathered in Times Square, more people gathering in Philly. Tyre Nichols' mother was urging people to protest in peace, which is how the demonstrations have been so far. Officials and law enforcement here in Colorado are hoping the community will also be listening to their message as they're now reflecting within their own departments after what they saw. Tyre Nichols died after this attack. The video, it is long, it is graphic, and we're only going to be sharing portions of it this morning. If you prefer not to watch it, now is the time to turn away. Officers repeatedly used pepper spray, batons, and tasers on Nichols. Memphis police released that video last night around 6 p.m. their time. We also want to note that certain pieces of the video will not be shown, but we're going to be explaining it verbally for context in this reporting.
One video shows an officer joining a traffic stop as it's happening.
All right, I'm on the ground.
Tyre Nichols talks to officers calmly. The officers threaten him with violence and shout conflicting commands. They order him to get on the ground. Nichols replies he's on the ground, says, quote, "I'm trying to go home." He's pepper sprayed and tased as he tells them he's complying with their orders. Then he runs for his life. A neighborhood surveillance video without audio shows officers again beating Nichols, this time in a residential area. He's hit and kicked, pulled to his feet to be hit again, hit as his hands are restrained behind him. Beaten bloody, he's left lying in the street and then slumped against a patrol car. 23 minutes go by before video shows a stretcher and an ambulance at the scene.
In portions of the attack, we're choosing not to show. Nichols is calling out for his mom as he's beaten. At times, he is just moaning, unable to speak. Officers kept giving conflicting demands like "show me your hands" when officers were either holding his arms or Nichols was already handcuffed, and "lay down" when he was already on the ground. Officers are also heard speculating that he had reached for an officer's gun. The 5 officers are charged with second-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated assault, among other charges. Friday, 2 sheriff's deputies from Shelby County, Tennessee, were also relieved of duty after video showed them responding that night. Law enforcement in our area and across the country are sharing in the outrage. Here's 9 News reporter Luis De Leon.
You know, I think it's important for the public to understand that I'm just as angry, just as outraged.
Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas spoke with us before the videos showing the horrific beating of Tyre Nichols were released, saying there's no place for what happened.
We should all not stand for and tolerate this kind of behavior.
And prompting conversations in his own department.
Certainly, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of, disappointment that yet again, here's another police department who members of that department have acted inappropriately, and it's certainly a stain on the entire profession.
A sentiment shared by Dr. David Thomas, a retired officer turned professor at Florida Gulf Coast University.
There's no need for any of what you saw.
We spoke to him after he viewed the videos.
There's nothing that I can say that would say, okay, this is what stands out. This was abuse from the beginning to the end.
He says that's made especially clear by the way the officer spoke about pursuing Nichols after he first ran away,
I hope they stomp it.
as well as the way officers spoke about Nichols after the encounter.
In this case, no, that was to me, that was more bravado. And you know, oh, he grabbed my gun, or he did this, or he did that. So to me, what they were trying to do in those conversations was justify everything that they did.
But in his eyes, there is no justification, only a need for change.
And people need to understand is that policing has subcultures. And in those subcultures, you're going to have these types of incidents. You're going to have these types of officers. And it doesn't matter race. Race plays no role in that. It is a segment of the culture of policing in organizations, and that needs to be addressed by the chief.
We had asked Chief Thomas about his perspective from the lens of a leader and a black man. He told us he is angry at what these officers did regardless of race. Another note that both Chief Thomas and Dr. Thomas brought up was the very obvious lack of any sort of police intervention, that an officer there could have done something to de-escalate the situation. It's something that Denver police works on, according to the chief.
I want it to be peace tonight, because burning up the cities is not going to bring our son back.
Tyre Nichols' mother is asking for calm as people go into the streets. We've already seen some of those peaceful protests in New York City, D.C., Boston, and Memphis. Protesters there have blocked off a bridge on Interstate 55. In an interview with CNN yesterday, Rovon Wells, Nichols' mother, says the accused officers being black has hurt the black community. She is calling for any bad officers to lose their badge.
And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families when you did this. But you know what? I'm going to pray for you and your families.
Tyree's mom says that she has not seen the video and says that seeing her son in the hospital was enough. We know that this video is difficult to watch, and psychologists say the best approach to care for your mental health is to know what your limits are and to know that someone is there to talk. Colorado Crisis Services is available 24/7 every day of the year. You can call or you can text the number on your screen. You can, of course, also call 988. That is the new number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The man accused of killing 10 people at a Boulder King Supers nearly 2 years ago still isn't competent to stand trial. There was another status hearing this week, and doctors say they don't believe the suspect is ready for trial, but says there is, quote, reasonable likelihood of reaching competency. His case has been on hold now for more than a year. Another competency hearing is set for the end of April.